What's up everyone, Gids here for another Chronicles video, and today we're going to talk about the changes with Kina from the June 15th update. So from the June 15th update, let's check out all the skills and of course some of the changes in the monsters, because I'm actually significantly affected by all the changes last June 15. So yeah, let's go and talk about it. And if you're a Kina main, or if you frequently fight Kina mains in Arena and you have some thoughts about the new changes, is it good, is it bad? Let us know in the comments below, and of course click the like button if this one's very helpful, and subscribe if you haven't yet. So let's start. First up, let's talk about what changed with Kina during this patch. Okay, so first of all, the first thing that has changed is the skill 1. Skill 1 for Kina, you no longer need to charge up your energy over here. So usually this energy over here is required, or you need to have at least 5 stacks of that thing on top of your head for you to be able to use the special effects of your skill 1s. So when you use your skill 1 with 5 stacks, that's only the time when your special effect will activate previously. But now you'll see here that there's no longer a requirement, so your special effects will always activate, and it's just now accuracy versus resistance on whether it's going to hit. So for the wind weapon, it's electric shock. For the water weapon, it's frostbite, and for the fire weapon, it's burn. For the light weapon, you actually have continuous recovery for 5 seconds, and for the dark weapon, it's increased cooldown by 20%. Again, you no longer need to charge up energies, right? And you can see here the effects now of the energy thingy is just extra damage, right? Bonus damage based on the level of the energy. So you don't really need to be charging this one up now, and you can just use it easily. This guy has high resistance. What the hell? I'm not landing my debuff. There you go. So it will land no matter what. Well, not no matter what. It's still subject to accuracy resistance, but you get the idea. Next change that a lot of people have been hyping up is that skill 2 for wind, water, and fire level 70 skills are now attack scaling. So is it better? Is it now good? Personally, I think it's meh. There's not much here. There's nothing much here. Like, I think it's still pretty normal. I don't think this is a signal for everyone to actually switch to a DPS Kina, because naturally we will have a lot of attack already for Kina just based on the weapons that you use. So I don't want you to be speccing up for all attack, right? So I think 6k attack is standard. This is already good enough. Imagine 100% of your attack as additional healing is already around 6k, right? That's around 6k healing plus the 22%. Usually it's 22%, right? So for the wind one, it's 27% HP. 27% of the monster's HP. For the water over here, this is 3 ticks, I think, or 2 ticks, right? So that's up to 7.5 plus 7.5. That's 15% of the target's HP plus 34%. So almost 60% additional from your attack. So personally, I don't think this is the greatest change that we have on Kina, and we'll talk about it more later on. But I think this is just a small change or small adjustment. So at least you don't need to focus on the defense stat anymore for Kina, because I think it's more important to get HP higher than defense. I don't know. What do you think about that? I feel like HP is just generally more important than defense. I don't really like speccing up for defense. So just go for attack and HP this time around. I mean, let's not talk about my crit rate, because I've been lucky with a lot of my crit rate rolls. Anyways, we also have a change for the passive. This thing over here, but not a huge change. But now it's a 30% rate from 20 to recover 15% of the target's HP. So this one's also from 10% to 15%. So what does this mean? Whenever we use any abilities, there's a 30% chance for us to recover something's or one of our units' HP. So 30% is almost just 1/3. One out of 3 casts you get to heal your monsters randomly, right? Which is pretty good. Previously, it was 1 out of 5, which is a huge change. I mean, big change in the grand grand scale of things, especially when we spam our abilities, right? Skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, and one of them is almost, of course, it's still probability. One of them will almost always trigger this one, okay? So that's a good one. But the biggest change, I think, still is the skill 1 change. I think that's the one that I like the most with this, because having it guaranteed, or with us no longer needing it to be charged, some of the combos is now possible. Like this combo with Sir Acteon, right? So if you have a Sir Acteon, well, it's time for you to have fun. Because skill 1 on Kina will now put down electric shock on the enemies, and if your Sir Acteon follows up, there's a silence that's gonna be there. If you don't know yet, skill 1 of Sir Acteon will silence enemies if they are under electric shock effect. So with that, think about it in Brawl Arena terms, right? So Brawl Arena, everything will be on cooldown, and start of the fight, your skill 1 actually goes off cooldown pretty fast, and skill 1 of Sir Acteon is just 3 mana, so you'll be able to attack your enemies preemptively, silence them preemptively before them even doing anything, and then that's actually a pretty good setup for you to win already. So this is one of the fun combos that I was able to figure out when I was testing the changes, right? So if you have any other monsters or if you can think of other monsters that does the same kinds of things, let me know. We can probably test it out if I have the monsters. But the other monster that I can think of right now is the Wind Nine-Tailed Fox. So if you guys are lucky enough to have her, right, there's a lot of good stuff with her passive over here. So burn, frostbite. So if you're planning to use fire weapon or the water weapon for fun, right, using this as your DPS is actually viable, right? It's possible. So with the changes overall for Kina, I don't think we're going to transition into a bursty DPS Kina, but definitely we will be able to deal more consistent damage with our skill 1 now, because that's an additional dot, right? That's an additional dot to our skills. So that's 12 seconds. So you can see here, this is the effect of electric shock. 1.5% of the target's max HP for 12 seconds. So that's almost like 12%, right? 12% of the enemy's max HP. And of course, if you get to stack it up, the damage will increase. But yeah, this is going to be a more consistent long game damage, right? Long fight damage. So we're not gonna be as bursty as Orbia or Cleave still, but at least somewhat it's additional damage, right? So I think this is a good change. We're going towards the right direction somewhat, but I still don't think it's going to put Kina up there on par with the damage that Cleave and Orbia will be able to produce. But that's understandable because we are still a support, but Cleave is still obnoxious. Lol. Anyways, yeah, I think it's okay, right? The changes are okay. I don't think it's still enough, but you know, we'll take it. I think it's good. I think it's good overall. But we might need something more. I feel like there's still something missing from our kit. I just actually want more buffs. Let me know your comments or your thoughts on the Kina buffs as well in the comments below. So with the changes on Kina, what are the equipments that I recommend? Right now, you can see I'm not grinding a lot, no? So still, I think Seal Weapon would be the best weapons right now. And PvP wise, it's still Last Greed or the Kalia set. I think even for accessories right now. So for my accessories, I'm still trying to work on the Kalia set. And still, I'm not going for any DPS stats over here. Main stats, I mean. So if you look at this, it's still HP, and defense over here. So this will be the equipments that I'll be using. Well, not this one. I might switch this one up. Oh, crit damage? I mean, we'll think about it, right? But the substats are kind of looking okay. But yeah, that's a plan right now. I still think PvP-wise, you still want this one. Because this one's pretty good for your monsters, right? Damage taken for Arena, Battlefield, and Siege decreased by 11% for your monsters. And usually, you will have a tank. You will have tank monsters in front. So this one's really good. And of course, The trinket is also really good because damage dealt by monsters increased by 6%. So again, you are not going to be building Kina as your sole or as a main DPS for the team because she'll be able to do consistent damage but not in bursts. So you don't really want to be building other trinkets for this one for PvP. This is the trinket that I prefer. I mean, you can still use the Foggy Prison equipment if you really need more survivability, but right now I think it's Kalia. Kalia, Steel, and then Seal Weapons. That's my weapon and accessories recommendation for Kina right now. And yeah, let's talk about the other monster changes because one of them are for Sir Acteon right here. Sir Acteon's passive has been changed. It's not really a direct buff, but I think it's kind of a buff, right? Because they've changed this one from every 5 seconds to every 9 seconds to proc. But now replacing def up with def down is guaranteed. Well, I'm not sure if this is still subject to accuracy resistance check, but yeah, previously this was just I think 60% chance, and electric shock is also I think around 60% chance, but now there is no 60% chance here, and they've also increased the damage from I think around 150% to now 356% because they increased the duration. So this one's going to hit like a truck still, right? Imagine 8,000 defense times 300%, right? So this could hit up to 30k, no? Wait, that's scary. That's kind of scary. This can one-shot DPS monsters that have no HP stat. No? That is pretty scary. So that's one of the changes for Sir Acteon. Next up, we have Galleon as well that has been balanced. So you'll almost not see Galleon anymore being first pick in Arena because his skill 2 has been adjusted from 18-second cooldown to 24 and mana cost from 3 to 4. So it's less spammable, and of course the duration as well has been decreased from 20 seconds to 14 seconds. So 6-second decrease for the durations of the buffs and debuffs. So Galleon is in a pretty bad spot right now. Not a lot of people is using him, but I think it's still good. It's still okay. Usable somewhat, right? As long as you get to put the def down and attack up, I think it's still good as long as you maximize the moments when he actually does it, right? Skill 1 was buffed though. So skill 1 was buffed. They added this additional debuff here. So recovery received down for 20 seconds, which is okay, but you usually don't really use it. But because of this, I think it's much better to put Galleon off Soul Link now. Well, just because of this one, because it's actually really going to take a lot of time for you to try to recover to 4 mana start of the fight for Brawl Arena. I think it's still usable. Personally, I haven't been using him a lot anymore for my PvP fights, but I think he should still be okay. Another monster that had a significant change that you might want to look out for is the Wind Chimera Lagmaron over here. So his skill 2 has been updated to have a stun now. So this thing stuns and provokes and is now 3 mana. So previously this was 4 mana, it's now 3, and it can stun, and you can put him on Despair. This is AoE, so kinda scary. So look out for this guy. I don't want to face this guy if it's well built. Also, he has almost the same multipliers as Rakan, so if you've already fought a Rakan before, you know how hard this one will hit, right? So everything is HP scaling, so this guy will almost always have HP, crit damage, HP stats for 2, 4, and 6, or maybe even full HP, right? So very scary monster over here, so look out for this guy. And we also have the Wind Vampire Hunter. So skill 2 has been adjusted. I'm actually thinking if I should be rebuilding this guy because now he can do unrevivable on the enemy that he defeats with his skill 2. And yeah, it ignores that denial effect. So it can actually kill Orbius and Leafs now, right? And upon defeating enemy monster or summoner, you get to increase your mana by 4. So you get to regen your mana. So if you get to one-shot someone, you can spam it again. So might be good. I'll think about it if I want to actually build it. Because currently I saw the disaster on what I did with Espino. When I was checking, I actually just have 57 pieces of Mostaza and not 60. So I'm not sure where the other 3 went, but we'll have to wait on exchange pieces if I want to actually build him to Awake 14, right? So I think those are the most significant changes for the monsters. I can't remember others that are pretty significant. I think they changed OGs as well to be much better for PvP. But I don't really care about the OGs because I don't have them and I haven't seen them at all. But if you have them and you want to test them out, let us know. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the balance patch on June 15. If you have any other additional thoughts, again, let us know in the comments below. Join the Discord for any questions off stream or outside of my regular videos. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. See you again next time. Bye-bye.